I agree with you. I think that the corkscrew all day long, my friend. I think that is going to be the D-Day for all the GC riders. And then maybe you could do something special on Wollonga, but against Jay Vine, where are you going?
You know, I've actually got to see Matthew Brennan up close and personal when I was directing the Vuelta Catalunya as well as the Tour of Romandy last year. I think he won 2 stages of Catalunya, 1 stage of Romandy. And Christian, he's not your Mark Cavendish like speed demon sprinter. He's strong. And he's so fast. He's so fast.
And that's why these guys take this seriously. I mean, there's legit points on the line here. This is a big deal. If you win the overall, you got a ton of points. The same if you go and win Tour Romandy or something else, big races that we all know of. So, yeah, I don't think people just go and cruise into this. And I think great case in point of that is Sam Watson.
I'm actually going to say that if he can lop up some of these time bonuses, I actually think he's strong enough to actually feature in the GC with some of these climbers. And it's not something that I wouldn't put it past him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beyond the Podium. I'm joined today with my co-host, Christian Vande. We have got racing back. The Tour Down Under has completely kicked off with the men's prologue today and just finishing up the women's Tour Down Under a couple days ago. Won by EF Education Oatly's rider, Naomi Rugg. So congratulations for their first victory of the year. Let's welcome in Christian. Christian, before we get into cycling, how depressed are you today about your Chicago Bears?
You know, honestly, TJ, I'm not that depressed. I'm just so happy that we got to cheer for the Bears in January for the first time in 15 years, first of all. I mean, the city's completely changed.
Has it been 15 years?
It's been 15 years, man. So, you know, we're all still pretty excited. And this is like the first time we're not looking for another quarterback. We're not looking for another coach. I think we're actually semi-set going forward into the 26-27 season. Hopefully it goes into 27 season. But no, I would think it was such an amazing season for us. You know, we were definitely on thin ice so many different times. I think the stat was 7 times they won, losing within the last minute or two going into the game that they won. And I thought they were going to do it. I mean, the Hail Mary pass with 30 seconds to go, Caleb Williams is the real deal. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He just needs some more tools. And so, no, I'm really, honestly, usually I would be, you know, but I really am not. I'm just so happy that we got to go this far and we actually have a team going forward. I think all of Chicago, and it was such a great story for the whole NFL. You need all the players, especially in the big cities, to have teams representing. And I think when you have that, especially if we're going to talk TV side, I mean, it's great for NBC. It's great for all the product in general. Yes, I would have loved to see them going against the Donkeys later on. But and I have to say, of all the days, you know, shifting gears away from the Bears, because I don't want to talk about too much, because I am still a little bit disappointed, obviously. But
I mean, we could spend the whole podcast on this, Christian. I think you can.
Easily. Of all the days that you should be repping a Broncos hat, you have an Avs hat on and some like bow hack. What is that? I mean, where'd you get that?
I was actually at a Avalanche game earlier this year because it's official. It's official. I mean, look, I like all my Denver teams. I don't know why I'm not wearing a Broncos hat today. I like, honestly, this is just the first thing I threw on just because I'm having a really bad hair day. But no, I mean, I gotta say, I am like super thrilled with that win that we had over the Bills. What a game. I mean, went into overtime, won it by a field goal. A little bit of controversy. I think you thought it was a complete pass. I'm sticking with interception. But Bo Nix is out for the rest of the playoffs with a broken ankle. So I'm like, it's just a mixed bag. I'm like, wow, we got the number 1 seed. We got our quarterback. It's been a minute. Since Peyton Manning, since we've actually had a legit quarterback, and it's been even longer for your Chicago Bears. So I think we're both happy right now, but I'm just like, I'm a little nervous going forward. I'm like holding on to that like Nick Foles Eagles sort of like feeling where maybe the second stringer can come out and pull it off and go on a run. But I guess time will tell. But what do you say we get into a bit of bike racing? So today we had the prologue of the Tour Down Under, won by Sam Watson. What were your initial thoughts?
First of all, I was happy for Ineos to be on the top step. You know, taking that line from the Bears and just needing all the teams to be able to step up. And Ineos has been, they've been not in the game really for the last almost 5 years now. So for them to come out with a W right away, and teams like this and teams in general, success breeds success. We've said it so many different times. And so for Sam to get out there, he obviously thought about this for a long time throughout the winter. He said that actually not winning here would have been a disappointment. He is a national champion of the UK. He won the prologue in Tour of Romandy last year, so he's no slouch when going against the clock. He's a track racer. He used to race in the Madison. He's pretty quick. It was only 3.6 kilometers. What was it, 4 something minutes? A little over 4 minutes, I think it took him to complete. It was really windy out there, TJ. I don't know if that came into effect for some of the latter riders versus the early riders, as Sam was on the hot seat forever. But I still think that these kind of short prologues, you can really take a lot out of to see what kind of form you're in. I know it's not the big time trial, but you could really see a rider in their form that they have this early in the season. So Sam's got some great form, as is Ethan Vernon. I mean, 0.5 of a second, that hurts, buddy. That hurts to be that close to the jersey. Everything's going to change, though, as we well know. This race has definitely developed into a very hard race over the last 20 or so years. It is no joke whatsoever anymore. I mean, it's tactical. It comes down to time bonuses every year. We have still the corkscrew. We're going to do 2 times with the corkscrew. Then we have Wollonga on stage 2 and 4, so for GC. But let's walk before we run. And Sam Welsford, who won 6 times over the last 2 years, is the teammate of Sam Watson. So the two Sams, they could really go back to back here for Ineos stage wins. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a lot more sprinters there have been in the past, but if you're an Aussie and you've been able to prepare at home in the heat all winter long, usually they have that extra step, the extra gear going into some of the sprint stages for sure. But it's gonna be fun to watch. I love watching the Tour Down Under. It's always fun. It's weird timing. Yeah, like I'm never know. I'm like, what time is it? When does it start? It starts so late at night. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting racing to see. And then Jay Vine, what he could do in the general classification. I got a lot of questions. But what'd you take out of the top 3 going into the prologue?
Well, so Sam, he's a new kid. Like, he's born in 2001. I kind of assumed, just being British, that he would have a track background and he knew how to ride a pursuit. So that 0.5 seconds, I think you have a little bit of experience on the track, Christian. 0.5 seconds when it comes to a 4-minute something effort, it's actually like bigger than you think. You know, like if you win a pursuit by 0.5 seconds, that's a margin. So I think he won it, and he does definitely deserve to win it. I was looking a little further down the list at the defending champion, Jonathan Nervais, who he was 8 seconds back. I think that's not an insurmountable amount of time. And I was scrolling a little further down, and I saw that Ben O'Connor was something in like 52nd place or something. And I was like, that seemed a little odd to me. And also names that I thought would have been up there, like Luke Platt, who we just saw featured in the Australian Nationals. Obviously, there was that tactical blunder there. I thought he would have had a little bit better ride. Jay Vine is obviously looking like he's in a pole position right now. So, no, it's going to be really interesting going into the stage 2 and the stage 5 that you were talking about with Wollonga and the corkscrew, 2 times up the corkscrew. I actually think stage 2 is going to be a bigger GC test than Wollonga. What do you think?
I 100% concur, and I'm glad you said that. I think that it's a great opportunity for a rider like Jay Vine, and I believe Jay Vine, he does have the KOM on there from 3 years ago. 6 minutes and 14 seconds. I mean, flat out. I mean, he destroyed everyone. So I think if he can win that, and more importantly, win the stage with the time bonuses, TJ, then you just have to play defense on Wollonga. And let's not forget, his teammate is Narvaez, who won last year. I mean, they have an embarrassment of riches as usual with UAE. So they have an incredible team to ride the front for the entirety of the stage. They're not that long, a lot of these stages. It is a tactical race. It's going to come down to sprints. They have the intermediate sprints, 3, 2, and 1 for time bonuses, and then of course 10, 6, 4 at the finish line every day. But I agree with you. I think that the corkscrew all day long, my friend. I think that is going to be the D-Day for all the GC riders, and then maybe you could do something special on Wollonga. But against Jay Vine, where are you going? You know, these are climbs that are only 6 and some minutes long, flat out. It's just it's an effort of 600 watts just flat out, and then whoever has the legs has the legs. And actually, when it comes to those kind of climbs, it's really not that much tactics, is it?
Not a whole lot, but what do you make of Jayco? I mean, they were shut out in the Nationals, and I'm looking like I said, their main guy, Ben O'Connor, 52nd place, and this is their home race. They are the Australian team. You know, they got it. You can't say that they're peaking for something else. And if they're the Aussies on an Australian team coming in here to win this thing, I mean, Mauro Schmidt, obviously he was 6th place, but I'm just thinking like they're kind of under a little bit of pressure right now, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, they're under a bunch of pressure, Tej. And the thing with those riders, let's start with Plappy. Plappy is not the best rider when it comes to really fighting for position, staying at the front, and that's the name of the game in Tour Down Under. I mean, it's gnarly out there. You have to be really a Golden Glove boxer at the front to stay at the front and stay in your position. We see crashes, unfortunately, so often in this race going into the big hills like Corkscrew, like you just mentioned. And the same thing goes really with, you say, Ben O'Connor. I mean, Ben is a great bike racer. There's no doubt about that. No one's going to disagree with that. But does he have that extra gear to go flat out for 6 and some minutes? Yeah, he's an amazing diesel engine. You know, you think of all the big stage wins he's had in the past. He's by himself for hours, and no one can do anything about it. That's his forte, not just full gas for 6 and some minutes. So I would say Plappy, and I'd say Mauro Schmidt is really their card to play for the general classification. I don't think that Plappy could be is technically astute to be at the front when it really needs to be done. Maybe they could change things up with some big attacks, but the racing's not hard enough. It's not long enough to really upset the apple cart with big attacks going off the front. I don't think. I mean, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a group of 7 riders go off the front and they're chasing flat out. But I can't see that happening. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Jayco, they're going to be under the pump. Plenty of teams out there. You know, Ineos is another great example. Bring it back to them. General classification wise, I don't know what they could do. I don't think they really have a card to play in that. I'm staring at the UAE guys for the top 2 for sure. But can they have the jersey? Can they have some more stage wins? Absolutely. They could get 3 or 4 stage wins. If Sam Welsford's on form like he was last year, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, if Mauro Schmidt's their card to play, he is I see him more as a breakaway specialist. Yeah, the guy that can be out there all day. I mean, we saw him featured in the Tour last year on a number of breakaway stages, but to go up Wollonga with some of those guys, I'm like, I don't know. I think they're going to be looking at Ben O'Connor and being like, that was all you could do for us, man? Come on now, like that's a little bit of a margin to make up, especially when in such a tight race like this when it comes down to time bonuses. But I'm just curious, have you ever raced the Tour Down Under, Christian?
Not even close, TJ. I never came close to getting down there. I've raced down in Adelaide many times on the track. 30 some years ago it started when I was a junior in 94, and then world championships, world cups, the world championships in Perth, and then of course in Melbourne later on. But no, I never did Tour Down Under. Like I said, I love watching it. I wasn't displeased that it did not go though. I mean, especially when I was living in Girona. I'd already be in Girona right now. To think about going all to Australia before the season even started, yeah, I think it's great for the Aussies to get to stay at home and prepare for these kind of things. And if you live in a cold climate and you embrace it and stay for those couple of weeks, which most of these guys do, I don't think you have an opportunity to you can't just fly over a couple of days before and hope for the best with a World Tour race and the points that are still on the line. And that's why these guys take this seriously. I mean, there's legit points on the line here. This is a big deal. If you win the overall, you got a ton of points. The same if you go and win Tour Romandy or something else, big races that we all know of. So, yeah, I don't think people just go and cruise into this. And I think great case in point of that is Sam Watson saying that they did all sorts of aerodynamic testing. So it wasn't a fluke that he got the W here. I mean, they did a lot of work. They said he even changed his position for his different bike. And I was looking at it. I watched it twice actually this morning again. I was like, maybe they changed the frame size. I don't know. But hey, nonetheless, whatever they did, it was worth it. They got their W. They get that momentum started first thing of the year. And all the guys who've been training with him And I'm sure you thought the same thing. You had these guys like, I was just training with Sam. He just won. Oh my goodness. I beat him at the sprints. I've been riding with him. I feel just as good. So that gives you confidence going forward that you could do the same kind of thing, that you're not going to be just pack fodder. You're going to go for the win yourself. But let's change things to your EF guys, because I saw a little standout here with Michael Leonard. I mean, 60.
He's my guy.
All right, even better. I love this. Okay, 132 pounds, bro. He's a little guy. Canadian, if you haven't heard of it. So he was on Ineos for the last 3 years, correct, TJ? Since he was a junior, right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay, so this is already his 4th year. And going forward, man, I'm excited about this kid. I mean, you think of all the people who are in the top 10, top 20, they're big guys. I mean, the power required to go 50 some kilometers per hour through the corners for only 4 and some minutes, you have to have a ton of power underneath the hood. And for a little guy like that, he easily wins the featherweight competition here by a long shot.
Oh, yeah.
There's nobody, obviously. So if he could be up there, I mean, what do you think his chances of GC are?
I got a little bit of inside information here because Nielsen Paulus was actually meant to go down to the Tour Down Under and do GC for us, but he's dealing with a bit of a knee injury, so we pulled him from the Australian block, and Michael Leonard got the call up, so he's actually kind of a little bit of a last-minute replacement. So I wouldn't say that he had the buildup of all these other guys, but at the same time, he's in great shape, and he's going in with no pressure, kind of no expectations, and he just won the best young rider of the day. And this dude is, like you said, he's small. He's 140 pounds soaking wet. He's small, but he is so aero. He actually reminds me a lot of Richie Porte, because he was actually 12th in the World Time Trial Championships last year, and he is a young kid. He is nowhere near his physical man body peak, So he can time trial, and he's small, so he can climb. And I just see a lot of potential with this guy. I'm really excited to be working with him, and to have another North American up there representing. I think he's going to have a really, really good Tour Down Under. Yeah. So I've also, Christian, I've also never raced the Tour Down Under, mainly because I wanted to avoid the travel. But I'm looking at these guys over there because I'm in Mallorca right now, and it's been raining full gas for the past 4 days. And Mallorca is one of the better parts of Europe. Up north, it's like freezing, snow. You watch some of these cyclocross races. These guys are trudging through snow, and you go and watch it down there. Okay, maybe it's a little windy, but these guys, they're just in balmy, 80-degree weather. I mean, I'm kind of thinking man, I really wish I would have just done it once, like you said, back when I was doing, when we were first starting out, it was more of a sprinter's race. I remember Andre Greipel winning it a bunch of times. Alan Davis won it. And it was Andre Greipel, he would win 10 out of the 5 stages and just mop up all the time bonuses. And he could just survive on Wollonga and be I only lost 30 seconds, but I got a minute's worth of time bonuses. Now it's actually hard racing. So it's not like you can just go down there as a training camp and just kind of get sucked along in the peloton and have some early season base miles. Now with Wollonga and 2 times up the corkscrew, you got to show up fit.
It's a great point. I was laughing at what you said about the Greipel winning 10 out of 5, which is so true. I mean, he just crushed everybody. He was so good in the early season all the time. But I also thought of the Germans to Greipel's point, and then of course the Belgians coming over there completely unprepared. I mean, the sport has evolved so far over the years. I mean, and the guys,
you're not just going down there to pet kangaroos or koala bears anymore.
Yeah. It's come a long way, but I just remember the sunburn because Adelaide is notorious for really their hole in the ozone. At least that's what they would always say. And I think they drive on the right hand side, or the right hand side of the car, and on the right arm they usually have their arm, but especially when the air conditioning wasn't so good. And so these are all I'm sure some kind of lore, but they would always say that the right arm had 10x the amount of skin cancer as the left arm. And anyway, this is just Aussie, I'm sure, just slang, but those guys got nuked underneath the sun. It's really hot down there. It was really windy. But now, I mean, that would always be the the guys couldn't handle the heat. Now everyone's prepared for this. They're doing heat protocol training over Christmas, New Year's. I mean, they're prepared 1,000,000%. And the racing, now we might have had a little bit of a chance to do well, TJ. Going against the sprinters, we would get, why we were even going down there. And I agree. I would have loved to have gone. All the riders say that they love the race. You're in one hotel, downtown Adelaide, the entire time. You race every day, come back, and it's, get room service if you want. Really, it's more luxurious than the average French hotel that you stayed during the course of the season. But at the same time, it's no joke, is it? You're not going there and having Reuben sandwiches and beers afterwards like that. I'm sure Stuart O'Grady used to. So it's a big difference. And so we got a lot of sprinters though heading into I guess we call it stage one since today was the prologue. Matthew Brennan. I'm looking forward to seeing how this guy goes out there. Brennan against Welsford. I think that's what it's going to come down to. And man, do I feel old seeing Teutenberg on the line here. Tim Teutenberg on Lidl Trek, a race with his father and his uncle, and known as Ant forever. With the Teutenberg family is massive in German cycling. So he did a good ride yesterday as well. Ethan Vernon. He's no slouch in the sprint if he gets the opportunity to get up there. Let's not forget the time bonuses. So I still think the leader's jersey is still up for grabs. Sam Welsford is just within that 10 seconds. So it's really depending on who's in second and third. So I think if he is able to take that win tomorrow, I think he's got a great chance of taking the leader's jersey. But Brennan, man, that kid is just class, isn't he?
Yeah. I've actually got to see Matthew Brennan up close and personal when I was directing the Vuelta Catalunya as well as the Tour of Romandy last year. I think he won 2 stages of Catalunya, 1 stage of Romandy. And Christian, he's not your Mark Cavendish like speed demon sprinter. He's strong. And he's so fast. Young kid, racing for Visma, Lisa Bike, sorry. And I'm actually going to say that if he can lop up some of these time bonuses, I actually think he's strong enough to actually feature in the GC with some of these climbers. And it's not something that I wouldn't put it past him. When I look at these climbs, that corkscrew, it's hard, but it's like 6.7%. I think if it gets to like 8%, then it's going to be a little too hard for him. But he's got those time bonuses. He's got a strong team with him. Wollonga, it's not a long effort. He could kind of Andre Greipel this thing with all these time bonuses and winning some stages. And if he can actually do this, he can stay close enough on those climbs. I've seen this kid, man. He is strong.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even put him in the equation, honestly. Like nowhere near. Especially when I'm looking at Jay Vine, and he's just 9 at his fingernails. Just can't wait to get to stage 2. He can't, TJ. I mean, this is something that he eats, lives, and breathes for doing. Of course, getting the yellow and green jersey for the time trial national championship, but he wants this W again. So I love hearing that. I hope that this is the case. Brendan goes nuts in the sprints and the time bonuses, and we have a race on our hands, and that means that Jay Vine has to go even faster on Corkscrew and Wollonga, and that's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, that's what we love about Down Under is like we got these sprinters lopping up all these time bonuses. I mean, I remember a year it was Richie Port and I'm forgetting the name of this. I'm embarrassed right now. The South African Daryl Impey. He lopped up all these time bonuses and was able to just like stay close enough on Wollonga to Richie Port to actually get it in the end. And that's the cool thing about Down Under is it's so dynamic. And we mentioned today it was windy out there today. The wind is always a factor in Down Under. It's going to be nervous. So it's one of these races where you can't really pick like an odds-on favorite because it could be a climber, it could be a strong sprinter. And one more name I'm going to throw out there who actually had a pretty good ride today too is our American Luke Lampretti. He's fast. I mean, a lot of these stages are going to suit him very well also. So it's going to be a really, really exciting rest of the week.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm still kind of a little thrown off that you say that Brennan you're putting him in the hat for the general classification, but I mean, it's a long shot, I would assume. But what do you think?
It's a long shot. I might be getting out a little over my skis here, but I mean, he did win some hard stages. Of the stage in Romandy that he won was hard. The stage in Catalunya that he won was hard. Yep. I mean, if it comes down to like a pure test on Walunga, maybe that's asking a little too much, but he's also so young. So I'm also just like, what can he develop into? And I'm also just thinking of years past in the Tour Down Under, where some of these sprinters have come through with some of these time bonuses and been able to lop them up and be like, okay, now all I need to do is kind of be on defense mode, and it's worked out. But I might be dreaming a little big here.
Well, I don't think it's going to come down to how strong he is. I think it's going to come down to how many W's he gets. I mean, if he has 4 and that make it 40 seconds time bonuses on someone like Jay Vine, then we have a conversation. But that's a lot to ask for somebody to have all those stage wins, right? I mean, no, sorry. He doesn't even have those opportunities. You'd have to be winning one of the climbing stages, only 5 stages altogether. So, yeah, he only has 3 opportunities to truly win. And even that, they're not easy. You know, they're tricky stages. So anyway, let's move on. Women's race, brother. Fantastic for EF again. And I mean, it was pretty nuts going into the finale, and they were racing up the corkscrew. And by the way, going so much quicker than they've gone in the past. 5 women went faster than Amanda Spratt did in 23. I mean, this just continues to be the conversation across the board in cycling for the evolution of how much faster they go time and time again. But Naomi, back-to-back winner, 24 years of age, Swiss girl from EF, but going along with 3 other UAE riders and outclassing them. How much did you love that?
Oh, that was awesome. I was thinking about Nielsen Paulus and Dwarsdorf Flandern coming to the line with 3 Visma Lease bike riders, or Ian Stannard coming to the line and Het Nieuwsblad with like 3 other quick step riders, and he just pulled it out. I was like, yeah, Naomi, like, way to go. Just outsmarted him, outclassed him. I was like, I loved seeing that. That was so cool. But I got to say, like, I think the women's EF team, they're putting the men under a little bit of pressure. I think they're kind of feeling the pinch over there. They're being like, ooh, we better step this game up, man.
Well, so let's put a pin in that, though. I mean, that race was aggressive. I mean, that's been another evolution of the sport as well. How much harder they go from farther out in the women's races, not just the last stage, but the stages previous as well. And that stage gets longer and longer every year. Same thing goes with the women, though. I mean, they continue to keep on pushing here for longer stage races, longer actual stages within the stage race as well. And I mean, they're backing it up with great performances. If you continue to go faster, yeah, you have to make it more and more difficult for them, just like we have in the men's. You know, corkscrew used to be crazy when they would go and race it. It would just be a big explosion. And now there's still a ton of people left over. You remember when we were younger, you'd be, okay, you go real hard over a climb, there's 20 guys left. Now the same exertion level, there's 95, 100 people behind you. You have to make so much more. And the same thing has happened in the women's sport. We saw it in the Tour de France last year, and that was so much fun to watch. And what is the biggest thing you're thinking about for at least the women and EF? I mean, you said they're definitely putting the men's under some serious pressure. I mean, they have some big goals going forward this year. What do you think their biggest goals are?
Ooh, I think they're just into racking up W's. I mean, they got Christian Faulkner, the Olympic champion. Obviously, we saw what Naomi did. We have the world champion in Mags. So they're just going to go every race. They're going to want to win. So I don't know if you can say like they're going with one goal in particular to say like this is what our season is based around. You know, the way that Postal or Sky did back in the day with the Tour de France. Obviously, Cedrine is going to be featured in the GC and the Tour de France, but I think they just have an aggressive team full of attackers and headbangers and climbers that they're just like, wherever we go, they're going to want to win. And it's going to be a little competition, but see who actually comes out with the win tally win in the end between the men's and the women's team. And I'm feeling a little nervous right now, Christian. I'm feeling a little nervous.
I would be too. I'd be very nervous. I mean, what really stuck out to me is, at least watching the EF women out there, was how selfless they were as well. You see a lot of times people are thinking about holding back just a little bit, but when you see the world champion on the front like that, doing those kind of pulls, setting up their teammates for different stages, hats off. I mean, that's a newly crowned, very fresh world championship jersey on her back, and a lot of times you want to show it off a little bit for yourself and get your own results. And
you want to flex a little bit.
And that was not the case, though. I mean, I would, of course, you'd always want to just win the race within your team, but that's easier said than done. A lot of times, the ego comes into it, and I didn't see any ego. I saw a cohesive team out there. Chloe Dygert was strong out there as well for the women. It was great to see Chloe. Maybe not the best time to go and crush everyone and get caught a little bit closer to the line, but she's got some great form. Maybe fun to watch her. But all in all, I'm excited about this week of racing. We got something to do. At least sitting on the couch here at TJ going forward. And first with the stage tomorrow, the sprint, and then of course corkscrew twice, like you mentioned, and then Wollonga twice. But I'm with you, buddy. I think that. So what is that going to be? So I get always mixed up. So it's tonight, but I think it almost goes to midnight. So it's going to be Tuesday, but. Yeah, it's
Remember,
like Wednesday.
I'm in Europe, so it's like I watch it in the morning. You're watching.
You watch
it
in the morning. That's right.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. for me right now. It's like 12 o'clock. Like you're getting ready for lunch, so you're confusing me with all this timing stuff right now.
Yeah, so stage two, I think is going to be the day we all need to watch though, because I think that is going to go. It's going to be all in for GC.
Give me your podium for the end of the week, Christian.
Man, one guy we didn't talk about thus far was Finn Fisher-Black. He was 12th this morning, where I don't even know anymore. He was third place last year. I think that he's actually, of all the guys in the top 3 from last year, he had the best ride today. So Finn Fisher-Black is looking pretty good. Red Bull. So I think it's going to be. Well, Romo, I'm not putting him in there from last year. I'm putting Jay Vine, since it's a little bit different course, a little bit harder. I think that Jay Vine's going to take this bad boy. I think he's going to go tomahawk slam dunk on stage 2, going up corkscrew, and no one's going to have an answer for it. And then after that, I got his teammate, Narvaez. Narvaez is so good. And the only reason I hold back on Narvaez a bit is because he might be doing a ton of work at the bottom of corkscrew or halfway up corkscrew for Jay Vine. So if he has to do a lot and blows up, maybe it makes it a little bit harder. But I'll stick with that. I'll go with Jay Vine, Narvaez, Finn Fisher-Black.
I like your top 2. I like Jay Vine. He's looking really good. Narvaez had a good ride. I'm looking at this list right now, and I feel lame just kind of swagger jacking you with your picks, but I might just have to say the same. Is that lame?
What about Brennan?
To do that?
What about?
I don't know. I think I was getting out over my skis with that. He'll get you a stage. He'll get you a stage or 2. He'll get you a stage or 2.
No, it's arguing. Yeah, go on a limb there, buddy. You went from the biggest limb or the thinnest limb to the thickest one, all in 1 second.
You know what? I'm going to trade out Fisher-Black for my boy Michael Leonard.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I got Jay Vine, Narvaez, Leonard.
All right. I like it. Well, great chatting with you. Go Donkeys. I guess that's who I'm cheering for now. I guess going forward, it's going to be the Donkeys, and I guess we'll go with the Pats, even though I got too many Pats friends and they're obnoxious, but I might have to go for Pats.
You going Pats?
I
the last time the Pats faced a second string quarterback, we took it to the house, man, to the residence. So I'm sticking with my Donkeys, but no, we got a fun week of racing coming up. Can't wait for stage 2, stage 5, and to see how these sprints play out down under. And we're going to be on a little bit of a hiatus with the Winter Olympics coming up, but you can catch Paris-Nice. It will be the next one on Peacock. We'll have a preview for that once we're back. And Christian, sorry about your Bears, but you're looking good going forward with Caleb Williams. And don't go with the Pats, man. Come on.
Okay. All right. I'll take it back. just like your Brennan call.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.
See you, buddy.
For all your cycling content year-round, subscribe to NBC Sports YouTube page. We got it all.